Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Piper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free, the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. Sorry about the time. I'm your brother, SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, I set up the show for 2:15 a.m. Wow. I apologize. I just saw that. I saw people were there this morning. I apologize. It was a brain fart. It was a brain fart. So I had to create the show for 2:15, and it was like 2:19. It was crazy. I apologize. I'll be more cognizant of AM, PM. Like a Seinfeld episode, AM, PM. If any of you are Seinfeld freaks, you remember when the marathon runner stayed at Jerry's house. But anyway, guys, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, guys, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button. Now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya. Like that page as well. So you're liking both pages, not just one. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, folks. You got to keep up with the Joneses in them. We have an app. So go to wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart or Kmart or 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, McCombie Ward, Woolworth, Weebles. It doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning, 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. If you're watching this on a Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put it there next to all the big boys. Netflix, Hulu, Apple, Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Put us there on the big screen. We're on the big screen right, Vicky, now. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at CHIS Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, we got a great show. But I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or a mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up on a screen. It'll come up on a thread. We'll put it up on a screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning, well, today afternoon show, the Chicago sports show around. And that's you. Questions. So, bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check out the comment. The chat is jumping like crazy. I love it. Love it. Love it. Lavette Lee's in the house. Good morning, Mom. Thank you so much for tuning in. She says, Happy House Music Monday, everybody. Patty Lara's checking in. She said, afternoon, everybody. That's what I'm talking about. Black Diamond's in the house. Top of the morning, gang. Hey, Shawn, I got another mock. Yeah, it's Black. Babies. Check it out. Send it over. Send it over. Hell yeah. Send it over, Black Diamond. We'll look at the mock draft that you had again. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Valerie Rivera. Val, what's up, Ma? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you much. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. is in the house. My man Junior's in the house. What's up, baby? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will probably chime in because of the time change as the show goes on. That I know. That, my peoples, I can tell you. Listen, we got a great show. At about 3:15. All right, 3:15, we got Josh Sklare. He's co-host of the Running with the Bulls podcast, and we got a lot of Bulls to talk. We're going to talk Bulls with him. It's his first time on the show, so make sure we give him a nice warm welcome here. Sports Zone Chicago, welcome when Josh comes on. Oh, Jeremiah is watching. Hey, Mijo, how are you? Little Jeremiah is in the house. Very nice. I appreciate it. So we got that to talk. We got a whole lot of other stuff to talk. We got, not only do we have the Bulls to talk, we have some NBA. There was some crazy trades in the NBA this week. All right, there we go. Beautiful. What are we doing? Okay, that's what he's doing. Crazy trades. Oh, my God. They're going nutso this weekend. The trade deadline is Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Time, and teams are wheeling and dealing. We're going to talk about some crazy trades that happened in the NBA and a crazy trade that happened with the Bulls. It was not a surprise. We're just like, finally the trade happened. We heard about it all year. They're trying to get it to be done last year. Then the player we traded got hurt. Was out for the rest of the year, so that couldn't happen. And we don't know. There's probably more activity on the way, so we got that to talk as well. Who else is going to be jettisoned from the Bulls before the trade deadline this Thursday at 2 p.m. Central? Who else? Who? Vooch? P. Will? Kobe White? I don't know. We're going to find out. Black Diamond, I just saw it. I'm going to probably in the first commercial break, I will upload it into the system and we can check out your next mock draft. I don't know, man. You might want to stop doing them because that first mock draft you did was on point. That was on point. That was a good mock draft. A good mock draft. I don't know if you can top that one, but we'll see. We'll see what you sent me. That is crazy. One of the things that I like about this time of year, I love Super Bowl stuff. All right. I love Super Bowl stuff, and I kind of have, a little envy. I'm not going to lie. I got a little envy. All right, because my Bears aren't in it. And it's been 18 years. 18 years, I want to say. Since we were in the Super Bowl. Man, that's how crazy it is. Was it 19 years? (2006, 14, 18, yeah, 18 years. Crazy. And, it's it's a shame because we see so many teams who go to the Super Bowl every year, and we're having a problem getting to the playoffs. And that bugs me. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as being a Cowboy fan. But because the Cowboys, if you're a Cowboy fan, I don't know what to tell you. They were saying, do you realize that Patrick Mahomes, every quarterback who started last week or 2 weeks ago in the NFC Championship game, specifically Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and definitely Jaden Daniels. Do you realize all those quarterbacks were born, grew up, went to high school, went to college, started their NFL career, and gotten back to the NFC AFC Championship game since the Cowboys last made it to the NFC Championship game. It's been 30 years. 30 years. And that's bad. I mean, granted, we haven't won a Super Bowl since 85, but hell, we got to the Super Bowl in 06, January of 07. So we've been there. We've been to 2 NFC Championship games, and we lost one to the Packers, I believe. But again, the Cowboy fans haven't got it. I'm a little jealous. But you know what? I think things are about to change. I really think things are about to change. I'm looking forward to it. They have a lot of good stuff going on now with our Bears. Sorry, guys. I was doing there you go. Okay. I had this one last minute thing we had to get done. We had to taken care of. But I think things are going to change. It seems like and I don't know whether it's just Ryan Poles understanding this might be his last hurrah. Okay. Or maybe it's the fact that he finally got to select his own head coach. Okay. Because we all know that Ryan Poles didn't select. Oh, let me put it this way. Ryan Poles wasn't his first choice. He was given a list of 3 names, and he had to pick from there. And Matt Eberflus, Matt Eberflus was on that list, and that's how he chose Matt Eberflus. But he didn't get to go through the whole process and say, okay, here's, I made this decision. But now he did. And he got the guy that everybody wanted. He got the bell of the ball. And I like what this guy is saying so far. I'm talking OG Ben Johnson. I like what he's talking about. I like how has stated that he's not going to just bring over the playbook and drop it here and all of a sudden everybody fit into that playbook from Detroit. No. He said he's going to tear it down and build it up around the skill set of Caleb Williams. And after Caleb, then everybody else make sure everybody else fits in. That's a crazy idea. Crazy idea. Who'd have thunk it? Do other people do that? Do smart? Wow, crazy. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Somebody actually takes the skill set of their quarterback and builds an offense around that. Holy cow. That's insane. I don't know if anyone else ever heard of anyone doing that. That's crazy. Obviously, you can tell I'm being sarcastic. But that's what really got me excited. And you know what? We got some room. There's a couple people there's a couple free agents. Somebody already requested a trade, a high a perennial requested a trade from another NFL team. Maybe the Bears will do. We're going to talk about it. Oh, man, my man, Shawn Walsh checking in. He goes, what up on the House Music Monday and newsworthy blockbuster NBA trades over the weekend? Yes, sirree, Bob. Black Diamond said they definitely need to fire Donovan. Good look, bro. Yeah, like that's never been heard of. No one's ever built the offense around the skill set of their quarterback. Crazy. But why you want to fire Billy Donovan? I like Billy. I like Billy. Billy's a winner. I don't know. People have an issue with him. You're not the first person who see that. There's quite a big contingency of people who want Billy gone. Why do you say that? Okay. You say he's insane. He can't develop. Well, Io DeSumo developed. Kobe White developed. Who's the youngster? The two youngsters. Oh goodness, come on. I gotta look them up in the box sheet. So I can't remember their names. I can't remember their freaking names. He was. I got it. Don't worry. I'll get it. But he's got other youngsters that he's developed. Dalen Terry. There you go. Dalen Terry. You mean to tell me he hasn't gotten better this season? What about Julian Phillips? So you got Dalen Terry, Kobe White, Io DeSumo. Those guys have developed. I mean, am I wrong? Do you disagree with the fact that those Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, Io, and Kobe White, do you disagree that they have developed? You know what I mean? And Patrick Williams, he's trying to get him to develop. And here's the funny thing. We've seen Patrick Williams develop. It's just he's inconsistent. Consistently, though, yeah, that's the thing about Patrick Williams. He's not consistent. But that's up here with him. I think Kobe's I think Kobe has gotten much, much better. I think there's an issue. So now consistency, not necessarily the coach's fault. But I mean, there was a point at one point last year where Kobe was hitting over 40% from beyond the arc. Kobe looked good. P will have the mindset of his own. P don't. I mean, P don't. P won't. Oh man, that's crazy. But that's on an individual basis. That's an individual basis. And you can't get into the mind. It's tough to get into the mind to switch a mindset of a person. And for whatever reason, Patrick Williams, I said it 2 years ago. I said, put him as a sixth man coming off the bench and say, hey, listen, just go ham. Just go score. That's it. Because he seems to be doing well with that role coming off the bench. Now, you don't want a $90 million player coming off the bench, but hey, no one told you to give him the $90 million. But if that's the best way to use him, why not use him that way? And again, this could be beyond Billy's control. It could be coming down from Acme, from Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. He got 90 mil. He's starting. Billy might have finally just had enough. Said, look, I got to bring him off the bench. He's not helping. So we got that to talk. We have more to talk. We got the trade to talk. Some more hires for the Bears. We're talking a little bit of Super Bowl action. It just started today. The people are just arriving. I think they arrived yesterday down in Nolens. All right, I know a lot of media members are down there. They got media day today. I think they're doing it this evening to make it an event. You know, the NFL loves to make things events. Remember, no one gave a shit about the NFL draft 15 years ago. And the NFL made it an event. It took over the city that the draft was in and created Draft Town. And they had fans from all over the country flock to this Draft Town. And they had events. They had rides. They had all kinds of stuff for the fans. It's an event. The NFL loves events because they're so well at putting them on. They do so well at putting on events. So let's see. So now, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. I was looking at him like, damn, we'll take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we will get to top of the morning topics. All right. So keep it locked right here, folks. We got a phenomenal show. I'm fired up about it. All right. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
In 1984, Nike created the revolutionary Air Jordan 1. 1 month later, they were banned from the game. Nike could have paid a fine, but they didn't.
It was $5,000 every game.
And it changed everything. The Air Jordan was a massive failure. There were no more signature shoes, no catchphrases,
Money's gotta be the...
no sneakerheads, and no subtle nods. Basketball never went international.
This flight is canceled.
And no kid wanted to be anything like Mike. The rebels, the fearless, the fashionable, all were something else? Wait, Khaled never said, "We the what do you mean Travis never became a flame? Now Jackson has no swagger? HU lost their flair. There's no sports channel. Red isn't cool. Shorts are shorter. Bald is bad again. No one knows those letter numbers? And your parents never met? All because this guy didn't want to pay a fine?
What?
Someone should have told him. You can't ban greatness. Air Jordan.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Nike as a new commercial out. That's pretty dope. If they didn't pay the fine. If they didn't pay the fine. Well, let's get right to it, baby. Let's get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, guys. You know we do the first segment of every show. Top of the morning, or today, top of the afternoon.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go. First top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Yeah, we're going to do this. Bulls, baby. Oh, that was crazy. The Bulls yesterday were up in Motown. Had a rough day. They lose to the Detroit Pistons. Detroit sucks. 127-119. Kobe White led the way, 22 points. Vooch with a triple-double, baby. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Josh Giddey, 20 points, 10 rebounds. And Ayo DeSumo contributed 14 points in the losing cause. Bulls are off today. Tomorrow, the Bulls host. That's the next top of the morning topic. The Bulls host the Miami Heat at the United Center. It'll be without Jimmy Butler, of course, because he's suspended indefinitely by the Heat. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Central Time. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. Well, how about that? What about the Jimmy Butler situation down in Miami? Jimmy Butler, he's kind of done it to himself. And he's done it everywhere he's gone. All right, when he left here, then he went to Minnesota, and then he was trying to toughen up them boys up in Minnesota, called them weak, called them out. Then he went to Philly, then he left Philly. Now he's in Miami. Now he's doing the same thing. We're creatures of habit. We are creatures of habit. And Jimmy seems to, after a certain time frame, he wears out his welcome. Did they, Mashawn? Did you? I got to confirm that. I have to confirm that. I will. Let me double check. Because Mashawn said they waived Torrey Craig and Chris Duarte. More. Yeah. Come on. Why don't you, there you go. Give me news. So some things happen. Like I didn't see that, Mashawn. I'll find out for sure. All right. Before I can say anything else upon it. Oh man, here's one of the things, the craziness. It happened, baby. It happened. The Bulls finally moved Zach LaVine in a 3-team deal. Zach LaVine goes to the Kings. The Bulls the Kings and the Spurs were the other two teams involved. The Bulls get, in return, they get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and they got their own 2025 pick. Now, remember, the 2025 pick would have been the Bulls had they finished in the lottery, had they finished outside of that 11, 12, 13th, worst record, then it would have gone to San Antonio. Well, the Bulls have waived that clause. Now they get their own pick regardless. Zach hasn't been playing with the team because he's been hurt. But Zach, I'll tell you what, Zach has been really Zach had been playing well. All right, Zach had been. Oh, I'm sorry. I know why. I don't know why he wasn't playing. He's on paternity leave. He's had the birth of his third child. That's why he's been out with the Bulls. So, with that, but when he was there, he was playing a lot more loose, a lot more free. One can argue, and your argument would be pretty damn good, is that he should have been an all-star this year. Oh, yeah? It was Courtney Cronin. So we'll get to that in a second. Wow, this is crazy. There's so many things that are happening. Wow. So, sorry, we got something else that just came over the wire. Wow, this is crazy. But the Bulls, here's the thing. What do they do? They're officially bottoming out? Like, I think that'll officially happen once Vooch is gone. Vooch has to be next. Vooch has to be next. Vooch has to be next. If, ands, or buts, Vooch has to be next. And if you don't move him, wow. I think you need to make sure that he's gone. I think you need to make sure, because you have your own pick now, and what they're asking for, if you recall, they're asking for a first-round pick for Vooch. But for whatever reason, Golden State doesn't want to come up off that first-round pick. I think as the deadline looms, Golden State may reconsider, because Vooch can give you everything except, and I'll tell you what, Vooch has even been playing defense this year. I know he's not a rim protector. All right, but he's been blocking some shots, which shows you he can play some defense. Now, he's not a Dikembe Mutombo. But, man, he can still play some defense when he wants to. That's the issue, when he wants to. So, I think it could get done. I think the Bulls want to get it done. And if they can get a first-round pick for Vooch, man, that'll put them with 2 first-round picks this year. And their own first-round pick will be pretty high, because once they trade Vooch, the talent level will be down. They really won't have a chance in most games. But this is a crazy deal. Crazy, crazy deal. Finally got rid of Zach. And a huge NBA trade this weekend, the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis. I mean, there were more people involved, but nobody really gives a damn about the other people. And it's an interesting trade to me. I don't understand it. Dallas, you trade a 25-year-old player. Do you realize Luka's only 25 years old? Do you realize Luka's only 25 years old? Seems like he's been in the league forever because remember, he came in at 19. Because if you remember, he's been playing professionally since 16. He was a 16-year-old pro over in Europe playing. So he came with game. So he came here at 19. The kid's just a baller. And I don't know why Dallas did that. I mean, you got a rim protector now. But I mean, how is it Kyrie and AD? That's what you want? I think Luka would have been. It just boggles my mind. I don't see it. And then now the Lakers have Luka. Is Luka going to be a Laker? And it took him by surprise. According to all reports, Luka didn't know it was coming. According to all reports, multiple reports, LeBron didn't know this trade was happening. He found out when he was at dinner. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It really, really doesn't. That's the NBA. The NBA is crazy. Huge. Next top of the morning topic. Former White Sox and Cubs infielder Nick Madrigal signs a 1-year deal with the New York Mets. He put a thing on Instagram yesterday thanking Chicago. All right, because remember, he was drafted by the White Sox, spent some time here, then spent some time, I think 2 years on the north side. So up until now, his whole professional career has been here in Chicago. He did put a nice little thing together on Instagram, just thanking Chicago, the city, thanking Chicago, thanking the fans, both sides, north side and south side. And yeah, it was. I like Nicky. He just seemed to press too much. He was too hard on himself, and he didn't didn't let the game come to him. He was always too tightly wound, and that's not good in any sport that you play. You can't be too tightly wound. You gotta let the game flow. You gotta let it come to you. Crazy. Well, keeping it moving. The next top of the morning topic. Yeah, baby. Here we go. The Bears. The Bears have hired former Chiefs and Washington Commanders offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Or as Chris Berman said Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. They signed him as their new running back coach. I love it. I love it. Unfortunately, Eric should be a coach somewhere now. He should be a head coach somewhere, but I don't know why he got blackballed. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I think they're definitely going to upgrade that running back room. And it's great to have a guy with this much experience. I'll tell you what, Ben Johnson is getting, the staff he's developing is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. The experience he has on this side of the ball. So now think about it. You got Eric Bieniemy, you got Ben Johnson. How much of a benefit will they be to young Declan Doyle? How much of a benefit will it be to be around these two offensive minds? That's huge. Huge. And keeping it going, the next top of the morning topic. The Bears are finalizing a deal to make Dan Rochar their new offensive line coach. All right. Rochar has, again, another quality coach with tons of experience. This is a guy that you want on, you can't wait. He's been coaching for almost 40 years. back in Butler, 1986-88. Where has he been? Well, he's the offensive line coach from Tulane. Okay. From 23 to 24, 2 years. From 21 to 22, he was the New Orleans Saints run game coordinator and tight ends coach. Some years before that, 2016 to 2020, he was the offensive line coach for the Saints. 2015, he was the tight ends coach for the Saints. 2013 and 14, he was a running back coach for the Saints. 2011, 2012, he was the OC and tight ends coach at Michigan State. 07, 8, 9, and 2010, he was the O-line coach at Michigan State. 05 and 06, he was the O-line coach at Cincinnati. 04, he's the offensive coordinator and running backs coach at Illinois. 03, he was the running back coach at Illinois. 98 to 02, he was the OC and quarterbacks coach at Northern Illinois. 97, the year before, he was the offensive line coach at Northern. In 96, he's the offensive tackles coach and tight ends coach at University of Illinois. 95, he is the quarterbacks coach at Illinois. 94, at Ball State, he's the OC and QB coach. In 93, Rhode Island, he was out there with me. Well, I just graduated. In 93, he was the offensive line coach at Rhode Island. 89 and 92 at Butler, he was the OC and offensive line coach. In 86 to 88 at Butler, he was the offensive backfield coach. So this guy's been around for a long time. Long time, man, long time. He's 64 years old. He should be 65 in September. This guy, you have a plethora of experience here with this offensive line coach, and I like it. All right, you get a first year head coach. You need as much experience as possible, and at every position. So you got a phenomenal defensive coordinator, a guy who's a former head coach, former defensive coordinator, a guy who knows how to command a room and definitely can command one side of the ball. Now you're hiring this offensive line coach, and on Twitter, Olin Kreutz gave it a thumbs up. He was happy. He's familiar with this man. I wonder if he played for Olin, or if Olin played for him, I should say. 2016 to 20, I think Olin might have been gone already. 2016 to 2020. Let me see when Olin played. Let's see. Yeah, Olin was gone at that point. Olin was gone. But he likes it. He gave it a thumbs up. He gave it a thumbs up. So again, another quality hire in this all-star staff for Ben Johnson. I'll tell you what, he's doing it the right way. He's doing it the right way. And this just came in. Breaking news. Breaking news. Ryan Poles. The Bears are planning to extend Ryan Poles. Okay, according to Courtney Cronin from ESPN, Ryan Poles is expected to receive an extension aligning with Ben Johnson's 5-year contract. So if that's the case, you see it says Bears to extend Ryan Poles. You see at the bottom per Courtney Cronin. Ryan Poles is expected to receive an extension aligning with Ben Johnson's 5-year contract. So now, finally, you're lining up the GM and his head coach. Finally. This is something that is common throughout the NFL But for whatever reason, the Bears just didn't want to do it. Bears like, nah, all right. That hasn't been a priority for the Bears. And now it is. And I'll tell you what, it hasn't been reported, and it probably won't be reported. But I feel this is Kevin Warren's doing. I think this is Kevin Warren saying that you get our GM, he got his coach, now we're going to line him up. So if we don't end up keeping a coach, we ain't keeping a GM. This is your second shot at picking a head coach. I know the first one might not have been all you, but here's your shot. So Ryan Poles, you got another 5 years here, for most likely, in Chicago. Interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. I really do. Are we seeing the Bears starting to act like a professional franchise? Are we seeing the Bears starting to act like a competent franchise? Is that what we're seeing here? Is that what we're seeing here? So that means if the upcoming season goes left, he's not going anywhere. So Bleacher Report and Twitter GMs, along with Dan Weirdo and Gone Cry in a Car. He's talking Dan Weederer. That are you talking about, Black Diamond? Dan Weederer? He's lined up. And I'll tell you what, I think this year is going to be fine. I think we'll make the playoffs. Did you say Dan Weirdo because of what they the Zoom meeting the other day when they called him Dan Weed Eater? It sounded like they said Dan Weed, like the person. It was a young kid, it was a young man. You could tell it was probably his first time doing it, and he didn't know Dan Weed. He couldn't pronounce Dan Weeder's name, like Dan Weed Eater. Weederer, or I think it's Weederer. No, it wasn't Dan Weederer is his name. It's like Dan Weed Eater. This is what it sounded like. They're like, what? And then Bernstein was going, how can you mispronounce his name? These are guys that are beat, which is true. I'll tell you what, it's going to be, this year's going to be good. Michonne, you asked a question. You heard anything about on Myles Garrett requesting a trade? Yes. According to multiple reports, Myles Garrett has requested a trade. He's 29 years old. He won't turn 30. He won't turn 30 until September 29th. Oh, he's talking about Dan Weeder. He hates the Bears, and he was one of the main ones shitting on Poles. Okay. Yeah. If you're going to trade for Myles Garrett, it starts with at least one first round pick, probably a first and a second. And he's got 2 years left on his deal. I looked it up earlier. Myles Garrett contract. Here we go. Yes. See, I just tapped it because I had it there. He's got the 25 and the 26 season. He's under contract. His base salary is only $1.255 this year and $1.3 in 26. However, the cap hit is 19.7 in 25 and 20.3 in 26. Remember, they gave him all that money. You get another bonus. Black Diamond says, Grant, I did want Poles' head for neglecting the O-line. I agree. Like, if they fired him, I'd be like, okay. I agree. You had so many opportunities. So many opportunities to fortify that offensive line. Okay, when you have the opportunity to trade that number one pick again for more picks, think of what you could think of the haul that you would have got if you traded Caleb or the number one pick. And what you could have done last year with those, in last year's draft, you would probably have 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders. You could have gone straight O-line. You neglected the O-line. The most important position as a group on a football field, you neglected. A position that you played, you neglected. You went and got free agents when you should have drafted them in the draft, have acquired your offensive line in the draft, and let them work together, grow together, develop chemistry together, and build an offensive line like Detroit has. Build an offensive line like Philadelphia has. But you didn't do that. So now you have 1 first-round pick this year, 2 seconds. You're going to spend it free agency? Okay, you can do that. But you willing to spend $20 million a year on Trey Smith as a guard, who's a 6th-round pick. Where are 6th-round picks who are commanding $20 million a year? Where are our 6th and 7th-round picks? Because I'll tell you what, if Braxton Jones went on the free market, he ain't garnering $20 million a year. That's for sure. That's for sure. Why can't we have these guys develop? Oh, there's that key word, development. But maybe Dan Richard can change that. Maybe Dan Richard can change that. I hope so. But you're going to have to spend some money on free agents right now. Because $20 million a year for a guard, after we just spent $10 a year on Nate Davis, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work. I hope so. I hope Dan Richard is really worth this investment because it's unbelievable. There was a guy, I don't remember his name. There was a guy who said coaching matters. Coaching matters. Yes, that was me. For those of you who thought I was being serious, I was being facetious. Coaching matters. And when you're dealing with the offensive line, you need to make sure that that offensive line is ornery, is nasty, and they wake up in a bad mood every Sunday. And coaches can bring it out. You have to know how to bring it out. You have to bring that nastiness out of your offensive linemen. And if you have 5 different offensive linemen, it could be 5 different ways you have to motivate these guys to get nasty on Sunday. And you have to do it for each and every one, each and every week. Can Dan Richard do that? I don't know. But we're sure as hell going to find out. We need some help on that O-line. We need to make sure those boys are nasty. We need to make sure those boys are hungry and they're ornery. If they can all play like Tevinjenkins when Tevin is healthy, Lord have mercy. Tevin used to like to take people to the second row. Like, Tevin, draw him back a little bit. Just take him to the sideline. Don't put him in the second row. Tevin likes to play to the echo of the whistle, which I'm cool with. I just didn't want him to get 15-yard penalties. Personal foul, embarrassing the hell out of a defensive lineman, 15 yards. But I'd rather have to reel somebody in than try and pull more out. So if we can get guys with that type of mentality on this offensive line, this offense is going to be very, very, very potent. Let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guest, Josh Sklare. We're talking a little Bulls. That trade was crazy. I mean, we all expected it to happen. But, man, it did. We never thought it would happen because Zach was hurt last year. Remember? They were trying to trade him the year before. Last offseason. Again, no, I couldn't. Was he hurt last offseason? I don't recall. And then now he's on break, right? He's on paternity leave right now. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break with Josh, all right? So keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Cunningham, dangerous player in the open floor. Followed by Thompson, wouldn't go. Ball to Dosunmu. A 3.
Bang, bang, bang. Way to push the ball up the floor, getting put Beasley as a shooter there, and you cannot leave him.
Oh, Buzelis stepping back behind the line for 3.
Boozy, let me step back and kiss myself.
And now Williams throws to Giddey. Working on Beasley. Phillips is in with Ball, Buzelis, Williams, and Giddey. And Lonzo Ball. Hey, Stewart leaves it for Beasley. And a good job by Williams denying. Williams bumped by Beasley, puts it in and a foul.
Oh, looking like a Mack truck that time.
Looking like a Mack truck. That's what I'm talking about. Patrick Williams. No more nicknames until you deserve it. P will, P won't. Hey, welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Chicago Sports Network. That was Stacey King and Adam Amin. the boys out in Motown yesterday. The matinee affair. Unfortunately, our Bulls were unable to come home victorious. As we said, it was a 127-119 loss. Well, my guest today, I'm excited to have him. He's with the Running with the Bulls podcast. Usually we have my man Adam Shalafu on here, but he's on the Running with the Bulls podcast with Adam. And I can't wait to talk to him about this big trade. In addition to the other trade, huge trade that went down in the NBA. All right. You can find this guy on Twitter, Jay Sklare. It's Squire. Guys, it's welcome to Shawn and Maya for the first time, Josh Sklare. Josh, what's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shawn. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
So crazy. We were waiting for this trade a year and a half ago, and Zach got hurt at the end of last year. Like, okay, that wasn't happening. Zach comes back. He's playing. I would say he playing the best that he's ever played in his 7 years, 8 years here with the Bulls.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree. Definitely his best basketball. Definitely his best, most efficient year by far as a Chicago Bull. And, like we kind of knew this was coming. We've heard it for years, but now they finally pulled the trigger on it.
They pulled the trigger. And are you okay with the haul that they got back? Because what they got back was probably a step above a rack of basketball. Zach Collins, Ray Jones, Kevin Huter, and they got their own 2025 pick. San Antonio's not going to get it regardless of where we finish. You okay with that?
For what the Bulls are going to do, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to offload Zach LaVine's contract. They wanted to get away from the contract. That was the first thing that they wanted to do. Second was they're looking to tank. If you're looking to tank, you're not going to look for a ton of assets back. What you're going to look for are role players who fit into the money that you're going to be able to accumulate to be able to make the money work. So they made the money work for this.
Yeah, because contracts got to match up. The contract amounts got to match up.
And usually you want to get some draft picks in return. Now they didn't get draft picks in return. Really, they got their first round pick back, which to me is an incredibly important thing because the Bulls need those picks going forward. If it didn't convey this year, it could have conveyed next year when it was only top 8 protected. It was, I believe, if I remember correctly, top 10 protected this year and top 8 protected the next 2 seasons after that. And then it would have conveyed into second round picks. But you can't take the risk if you're the Chicago Bulls of losing the ability to have your draft picks, especially with a team that, let's face it, was not going anywhere. And now you have a direction. You've decided to tank. You're looking to hopefully have the ping pong balls fall your way, get a Cooper Flag, get an Ace Bailey, get a Dylan Harper, get somebody out there that can be that next franchise piece that you can build around for the next 10 years. Because let's face it, they haven't really had that championship guy they can build around really since they drafted Derrick Rose. Now, Jimmy Butler turned into a guy you can build a championship around, but they didn't have the pieces to do that. So now you're looking for that next big piece that you can. You're looking for that Giannis, that Luka, and there are a lot of potential guys in this draft that could be that next piece. It's just a matter of the ping pong balls falling their way.
So beyond the top 3 this year, it kind of falls off precipitously afterwards. The 3 guys you just mentioned, and they're still good players after that, but there's still like a tier, like an upper tier. Those 3 guys seem to be in like that tier. And then you have everybody else. Again, still a couple of really franchise-altering players, but just not in that top tier. Do you think Matas Buzelis can be one of those guys that is the face of this franchise? Because this kid is 19 years old. They said he's 6'10", 205. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's only 205 pounds. And this kid, the Chicago area kid, plays with, first of all, he plays bigger than he is. He plays with an edge. He has that swag about him. He's not soft by any stretch. You saw the dunk on who the hell was it? That he shouldered him, he fell, and then when he said he's down, I'm dunking. Dunked on his ass. Can Matas be one of those franchise type players that you build, one of those pillars that you build a championship franchise around?
I think he can definitely be a piece. People forget that he was the number one prospect. I believe even at the beginning of all these mock drafts and everything, he was at the top of the board. That was the number one pick, and he slid all the way to the Chicago Bulls. A guy grew up in Illinois, probably dreamed about playing for the Chicago Bulls. Now he gets to play for his hometown, like Iota Sumu. And I think Matas has a chance to be an amazing player. I think an all-star caliber player. I think he has the tools. He's an incredible defender. He can defend multiple positions. He actually, I believe, he was the Bulls block leader until very recently. If not, he still is the Bulls block leader at this point, which is crazy to consider that he doesn't even play a lot of minutes and he's still leading the team in blocks. That is very impressive. So, I would definitely say that, in fact, he does lead the Bulls in blocks. He's only averaging about 0.8 blocks per game. But the fact that he's doing that and he's only playing specifically, 13.6 minutes a game, and he's still leading the team in blocks, and the team doesn't block a lot of shots, nevertheless, still leading the team in blocks, says how good of a versatile defender he is. He can put the ball on the floor. He's got a nice floater. He can shoot the basketball. He can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions. He's that next wave of long, lengthy NBA players that you're going to want on your team. And I definitely think he can be a piece for the Bulls going forward. Absolutely.
Would you agree with, I comped him to being another Lauri Markkanen?
I think he could. I think Lowry's I think he's a little bit different than Lauri. I definitely think he's a little bit different just because he doesn't have the build as Lauri. Lauri's like 7 feet, 240. Huge
but
difference.
Lauri came in about the same size, about the same frame.
True. And he grew into his body. So I think we got to give Matas some time to grow into his body, get in the gym, pack on a few pounds. If he can get to 220, 225, maybe even 230, we're going to really see him be able to do some damage in the NBA and really impact a different way once he gets stronger. Because I remember early on in the season, he was getting pushed around. Yeah. He's not quite getting pushed around now. He's starting to learn how to play a little bit. In fact, he's having his best stretch as a Chicago Bull. So I really think that this is going to be good for him, this trade. I think we're definitely going to see him play a lot more minutes and get a lot more opportunity because Zach is going to be gone. And they're going to play the young guys like Matas, and I think that's a good thing for him. We're going to see what he really can do.
How much do you think of him being snubbed for the Rising Stars game? How much do you think that's going to motivate him? Because this dude is a rising star. He has a couple of Sports Center highlights, and it's not just a couple. Like, he has phenomenal games there's phenomenal plays every game. It's not one here, one a week. It's pretty much every game you see him do something. You talk about the versatility. He'll hit a three from the corner. He'll hit it from the top of the key. He'll drive that hole and dunk on you. He'll knock the shit out of there if you bring it in weak in the lane. This kid he has that attitude, that swag. He has that Chicago mentality. And how much do you think that snub of him not getting that invited is going to motivate him? Because as an athlete, you want to be respected by your peers for what you do. And it seems like he was snubbed.
I think we're starting to see that even now. Now that he's getting extended minutes, we're starting to see that. He's had double-digit points in 3 of his last 4 games, and the only game in the last 4 games that he didn't have double-digit points, he had 9 points, and he still was. And he went 4 for 5 from the field, played 20 minutes, and helped the Bulls in a great win against Denver, and was very, very good in the win against Toronto. He also had a good game against Detroit. He had a great game, 12 points. The Bulls came up short, but he is showing the talent that he has. And I think anytime you get snubbed for something like, the Rising Stars game, it's going to motivate you to get in the gym that much more. And I think he's definitely going to show, especially in the latter half of this season, just why they made such a big mistake not allowing him to be in the Rising Star Challenge. I agree. I think he's definitely going to show something and show why he deserved to be in that Rising Stars Challenge. Absolutely.
Guys, we're on with Josh Sklare from Running with the Bulls podcast, talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm a big fan of this kid. I'm a huge fan of this kid because of his attitude, because of his demeanor, because of his swag, because of his Chicago aura that he carries, and I love it, and I cannot wait. I'd say not 25, 26, but 26, 27 season and beyond is when we're really going to start to see him really fill out. Because it took Lowry a couple years we noticed it every year, just like Joakim. I remember Joakim was another dude who was really, really long and lanky and thin when we drafted him out of Florida. But man, he found that weight room. He was eating that iron every offseason. You saw him get bigger, noticeably bigger and bigger. And if he does that for at least next 3 off seasons, and he'll only be 22 at the time, not even near his prime. Man, this kid could be a real thing. And imagine pairing him with a Cooper Flag. You know what I mean? Someone like that. That's the thing that I'm excited about. So now, being in take mode, how soon do you think that the Bulls trade Vooch? Who's going to back down? Is it Golden State going to back down and give us the first round pick? Or the Bulls going to back down and say, fuck it, give us a second round? We'll take a second.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be traded. I think he's the next piece to fall. In fact, I just saw reports that Golden State was trying to trade for Zach LaVine and Vucevic in a package. It just didn't work.
Oh.
I've also seen that the Bulls, not only are they trying to trade Vooch, they may be trying to trade Trey Jones, the guy they just acquired in the trade with the Sacramento Kings and the San Antonio Spurs. So they might not be done. They might be making multiple trades here. But I think Vucevic, the Bulls are going to try and get a first-round pick for him, absolutely. It's just a matter of who is more desperate. And I think the team that's most desperate is the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that they're a team. Now, he's not a rim-protecting big. I think they're going to be more looking towards a rim-protecting big. So if that is the case, the Lakers could still make a call. If not, I think Golden State could still easily make a call. Listen, you don't pass up on a 20-10 player. Vucevic is having arguably his best season of his career, the most efficient season of his career. And they need somebody to pair with Steph Curry right now. And Vucevic is playing at an all-star caliber level. And
imagine him and Steph in a pick and roll, dude. Imagine him and Steph.
Oh, my goodness. And he's shooting so efficient from beyond the arc right now. That would be a huge help to someone like Steph Curry, who really has never had, really the best scoring big that he's played with in his career is DeMarcus Cousins after an Achilles injury. And that didn't really last very long. So it'd be very interesting to see what, he can do with someone like Vooch, because I'm just looking right here. Vooch averaging 19.9 points, 10.5 rebounds, almost 4 assists a game, shooting 40% from beyond the arc. That's a career high that's the second highest career average for Vucevic from beyond the arc since the 2021 season, when he was shooting 40.5% for the Magic before he got traded to the Bulls. And that was basically his best season, was when it was years ago. And now you're seeing him playing his best basketball at, I believe, the age of 34. If the Bulls my guess is they're going to get second-round picks for him. It's probably what they're going to get. But if you can get 3 second-round picks, you never know what those picks are going to turn into. We have seen tons of second-round picks turn into talent. Chris Middleton, to name one. Jokic, Draymond Green, just to name a few of those guys. Jaden Wells this year for the Memphis Grizzlies has been a phenomenal, or I believe Jalen Wells, for Memphis has been an amazing pickup for them. There's a lot of talent to be had, and you can still get a lot of talent in the second round if you know where to look. And the Bulls, I think if they can get maybe 2 or 3 second-round picks, that would be not a bad. That wouldn't be too bad. It's probably going to have to be some salary they're going to have to match up as well. So I'm curious to see who they get back in the trade. Maybe. So I'm not really sure who they're going to get back, but it'd be interesting to see what they're going to get back. If they can get a first-round pick for Vucevic, that would be a phenomenal return. I'd be very happy with that.
So let me ask you this. If they don't and get a second, do you trust this organization to develop those second-round picks? Because earlier in the thread, a couple of people had talked about the lack of development of the players. And I said, oh, wait a minute. I said, you can look at P. Will or P. Won't. They my guys call him. He has developed. It's just here with him. We've seen him get more aggressive with the second unit, but you have to go to Ayo. We can't deny Ayo's development. Got to go to Kobe White. You can't deny Kobe White's development. You got to go to Julian Phillips. You can't deny his development. He's a key player coming off the bench. And Dalen Terry, you can't deny. Dude, I thought Dalen Terry was just a dancer. And this dude is making plays and blocking shots and hitting threes. So there is evidence of development. We just wanted it from the first round pick, who was the 4th overall, instead of second and third rounders like we got. But do you trust this organization to develop, if we get some second rounders, to make them to make them some valuable contributors to this Bulls team.
Well, we've seen them be able to develop talent. Zach LaVine, while he was with the Bulls, turned into one of the best scorers in the league. We saw that. Now, he was given the ball in his hands. I would assume was turning into one of the better guards in the league. Kobe White's turning into one of the better scoring guards in the league. Even a guy, although he's not playing a lot of minutes, even a guy like Julian Phillips, who they got last year, he's turning into a solid player.
Yes, I like him a lot.
I like him a lot. He's not a bad player. The Bulls can develop guys. It's just a matter of we're going to have to trust them because this is the direction that they're going. And look, I know some people don't like Billy Donovan. I like Billy Donovan. You can say what you want about what he's done. The guy has coached Westbrook and Durant. He, at one point, was the head coach of a Bulls team that was 29-10 and number 1 in the Eastern Conference. It just happened that they got bad luck and Lonzo Ball went down. Who knows what their record would have been had Lonzo been healthy for the whole season? They could have easily been a top 2 seed. And you would have said, okay, that was years ago. But the point is, he's a good coach. When you give him talent, he's a good coach. He really hasn't had when you give him young guys, we need to see what he can do with that talent. I like Billy Donovan as a head coach. The Bulls can develop talent. It doesn't, sometimes they've got guys that they've traded away, and those guys have turned into great players. Lauri Markkanen was one of the better players in the NBA last year. It was frustrating to see that because they traded him for pennies on the dollar. But, sometimes that can happen like that. Bobby Portis we knew Bobby had a lot of talent when he was in Chicago. And I remember when we drafted Bobby, I always thought that was a great pick, and it turned into a great pick. And he's still one of the better players in the league, one of the better players in this, one of the better big men in this league, that can be a role player. So the Bulls are capable of absolutely developing their talent.
Daniel Gafford as well.
Daniel Gafford, another guy who I really liked on the Bulls, got traded, still one of the better centers in this league. The Bulls are capable of developing players. It's just a matter of can they develop them all together into a cohesive unit that can make the playoffs without a guy like Vooch, without a Zach LaVine, without a DeMar DeRozan. It's just going to take a few years for them to mesh and gel. The one thing I will say is this. They're not the Washington Wizards. They're not a graveyard. And I'll say this. I'd much rather be the Chicago Bulls right now trying to do a rebuild than be the Washington Wizards. I'll say that right now.
Hey, you and the rest of the Bulls Nation, let me tell you. Oh my God.
That is a graveyard in the NBA. Holy moly.
Man, you're right. I wouldn't even want that. Dude, that's that's nuts. So you're cool with Billy. I am too. I like Billy. He can coach young players, which is what we have for the most part. And I agree with everything you said. We were number 1 in the East till Lonzo went down. All right, and that was the year that right after wasn't right after they won the Bucks won the title. They had the championship hangover. Philadelphia was all jacked up. Miami was probably the only decent team and other decent team in the East. There was really nobody in the East had their shit together, and the Bulls could have gone on a run and really, like you said, finished in the top 2 of the conference. And I don't think they would have been able to win it that year, but I think they would have gone deep in the playoffs. So I like Billy. I don't want to move him. I think he's good for the youngsters on this team. Who do you think next? Now that Zach's gone and Vooch will probably gone, who do you think is going to benefit the most from those guys leaving?
That's a very good question. I think we're going to see Josh Giddey getting more opportunities to score. I think he's going to have to take on more of a role. I honestly think Matas Buzelis is probably going to benefit the most because he's going to get a lot more minutes, and I think he's going to take over a lot of that because I think they're going to play a lot more of the young guys. I expect Kobe White to average probably 20 to 23 points per game the rest of the season. He's averaging 18 points per game right now, and so I expect Kobe White to be the main scorer of this team going forward. I think we're going to see Kobe White putting up large numbers. He's only shooting 14 shots a game right now. My anticipation, he'll average 16 to 18 probably the rest of the season. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to shoot the basketball and be the main guy. And I think that's what we're going to see going forward. But I think the person that's going to benefit the most is probably going to be Kobe White and Matas Buzelis, and maybe even Josh Giddey as well, because Josh is going to have to take on more of a scoring role, especially if they trade Vucevic. We're going to see Jalen Smith get more. But I would say the 3 guys to watch, Kobe White, Josh Giddey, and Matas Buzelis. I think Matas don't be surprised if Matas is starting very, very soon. He might even be starting now that Zach LaVine is gone, because I think they're going to want to give him some run. Right now they're starting an interesting lineup with Lonzo, Giddey, Detsumu, Vucevic, and Kobe White. It's kind of a smaller lineup. It's an interesting lineup, I got to say. But I think if they might even trade Lonzo Ball, and then I think that would even move a lot of opportunity for Matas. Even then, they would trade even more of an opportunity. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But I would keep my eye Matas Buzelis, Josh Giddey getting more scoring opportunity, and I would definitely say Kobe White's going to be the one who starts averaging about 20 points per game as the season goes on.
So what happens? You mentioned him. What happens with Lonzo Ball? Do you let him walk now? Because now he seems healthy, and we see what he does and how he runs that. He runs that offense. I mean, he gets that ball out quick, and we have the youngsters. We have the Julian Phillips. We have the Dalen Terry. We have the Kobe White, the Ios. You get them jokers out running, and you have the Matas Buzelis who's trailing. All you got to do is toss that bad boy up off the glass,
exactly.
and he's thundering it home. What do you do with Lonzo Ball? Is he worth re-signing? Because it's done at the end of this year, and he could just walk. Or do you want to leave?
Good, but if I'm the Bulls, I'm keeping him. Listen, Lonzo Ball is one of the highest IQ players that I've seen on a basketball court. When he's on the court, things just go better. He's so good defensively. It takes a lot of skill to turn it from what he used to be as a three-point shooter. Now he's a very solid three-point shooter. He's got great form. He's got great range. He's such a high IQ passer, such a high IQ defender, knows to be in the right lanes. He's a guy that Josh Giddey can learn a lot from. And when you put those two on the floor, you have two incredibly high IQ basketball players on the floor. If I'm the Bulls, I don't know if I trade Lonzo Ball. I try and re-sign him. You're not going to have to pay the guy $20 million. If you can get him for $8 to $10 million, I say why not keep him? I don't see any reason to get rid of him.
You think they can get him for only $8 million?
I think because of his injury history, it's going to be very difficult for a team to want to pay him what he's getting paid now, which is $20 million. If he gets offered like 15 to 20 by a team, I would be very surprised. I think because of his injury history, I think teams are going to be hesitant to be able to sign him to major money. But if you can get him for like half of what you're getting now, I see no reason not to bring Lonzo back. If you can get him on a friendly contract.
What's the max? 10, 12 a year for him?
I would say 10 to 12. If you can get it for 10 to 12, I would say that would be reasonable. I would hope 8 to 10, but 10 to 12 would be reasonable for Lonzo Ball. I'm not re-signing him for $20 million. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that. There's too much risk there.
You mentioned his IQ, and to me, that is so important. And you understood why we were number one in the East. And it wasn't just his offense, his passing, which was phenomenal. It was him in the defense on the defensive side. Him and Alex Caruso gave people problems. They were a Mickey Ficky problem for a lot of people.
Huge problem.
And the thing about it is, like, you don't look at those guys. You think of rim protectors as problems. All right, big guys down low. These guys were in the passing lanes and play so smart, anticipating, and just causing bad shots, causing turnovers. I think I agree with you in the fact that I think Josh Giddey could benefit from that. And if they play together and Josh's game elevates defensively, we might have another situation where we have two guards. And and that's the issue, or that's the way to do it. When you disrupt the guards of a team, it disrupts the whole offense. So now you're shooting at 6-8 seconds when you want to shoot like maybe 8 to 10, and you're barely crossing half court, and now they got pressure on you, and you don't get to run the flow. Your offense is choppy, and you're not getting good looks, and you're trying to beat the clock a lot of times. That's not the way an offense or team wants to run their offense. And if they re-sign him, maybe that works maybe he can, I don't know, rub off on Josh and be a little better. Because this Bulls team, when they want to play good defense, team defense, they can't. It's just they don't. Why do you think that they have so many lapses mentally on the defensive side of the ball?
I think part of it is the style of play that they have. I think that, because they played such a high pace and they're trying to score so many points, they spend so much energy on offense that I think that they sometimes forget, hey, we got to play on the other side of the floor. And I think that's part of the huge issue that they have when you don't have a guy like Caruso out there who was the leader of that defense, you're going to have issues with communication. I think just not having Alex Caruso, who you could argue is a top 5 defender at his position in the league by far, hands down. And when you lose a guy like that, who is the communicator, when Lonzo Ball can be the communicator, but I mean, you can't yell at everybody on the floor. You know, someone's got to perk up and has to say, hey, go guard him. Hey, watch out for the switch here. You know, move up on the screen or move down. You know, you've got to be able to have, you know, I think that's part of it. They're not emphasizing defense nearly as much because they don't have the personnel to be able to defend at such a high level. I think that's a huge part of what the issue is and what's been missing. They're not emphasizing defense as much because they're trying to play so up-tempo. And that can work, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't always work. I mean, we've seen where teams play high up-tempo offense, and it doesn't work. It's like, you know, Paul Westhead tried to bring that to the NBA after he was with the Lakers, with the Nuggets, and it was a complete train wreck. That was back in the 90s, but it's just an example. Sometimes you can see these things happen where you score a lot of points. You can score 120 points. That's great. But you're going to give up 125. And that's part of the problem.
Well, Golden State seemed to have the recipe for that, because they were dropping $120 and still being a top defensive team in the league in their heyday. And that was just 6-8.
That's what made them so special, though. But remember this. You had Draymond Green, one of the best defenders in NBA history, I would argue. Klay Thompson, one of the best, maybe the best in terms of, you know, 3-and-D guard that has played in the NBA. Because Reggie Miller wasn't exactly the greatest defender. I wouldn't call him the greatest defender. I would say Klay Thompson's a much better defender than a guy like Reggie Miller or a guy like Ray Allen. You know, he had the defensive chops to back it up, whereas Ray Allen's not exactly, I'm calling him Mr. All Defense. You know, so, but what they had was they also had Andre Iguodala. They had a lot of really good defenders on that team.
Shawn
Livingston, also a very good player. You know, and Steph Curry's not the best defender, but Steph Curry, very good at stealing the basketball.
He's a good team. You know what he does? He relies on the team defense. Yes, he's a team defender. He's really sneaky. He's one of those sneaky sons of guns that you just want to punch in the face because he's just annoying. Because he doesn't do it often. He just does it at key times. He does it. He picks and chooses. And when it's a very critical time for the opposing team to score, boom, he'll poke it out, cause a turnover, get out on the run, and stop at the 3-point line and hit a 3. So, it's freaking stuff. I love what he did. But hey, Josh, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. We definitely got to have you back on again.
Absolutely, I'd love to come back on. Thanks for having me.
Do me a favor though, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
You can find us on the Running the Bulls podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music. You can find me at J Esquire. That's JSKUIRE on Twitter. And and that's where you can find me. So once again, it's called the Running with the Bulls podcast, everybody.
So are you an actual attorney? Because I saw Esquire.
Studying for the bar exam. I take it in the end of February.
Okay. Where did you go to law school?
DePaul University.
Okay. Oh, so you're here. You're in Chicago.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Okay. I saw Squire. I'm like, oh, Esquire. Okay. All right, pretty dope, man. That's good stuff. Esquire. That's why you talk so well. You're a lawyer.
That's exactly. It teaches you a lot of things.
Hey, Josh, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to have you, man. We'll be talking soon.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Guys, that's Josh Sklare. Esquire Josh Sklare. I love it. And talking with the Bulls, baby. I think I thought I was the only one. I wanted to bring Lonzo Ball back. He said, "Oh, you gotta let him go. Let him go." I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that. I like Lonzo Ball a lot. Lonzo Ball is, when you talk about having a coach on the field, on the court, that's what you got right there. That's exactly what you have right there, is a coach on the court. And I love it. All right, we had Alex Caruso, and we saw how phenomenal he was on the defensive. He was a 3-and-D guy. On the defensive side of the ball, he was amazing. Him and Lonzo Ball were some of the main reasons that we led the East until he got hurt. First place in the East. The top team in the Eastern Conference. That's crazy. Crazy. At the Bulls. Over Philly and Joel Embiid. Over the defending champs, the Milwaukee Bucks. Over a perennial player, the Miami Heat. They were the number one team in the East before he got hurt. Wow. Wow. But you see me, I got my Bears hat on. I don't wear my Bulls one and keep it all black, but for my House Music Monday t-shirt. Let's talk a little. Got about 25 minutes left. Let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk a little Bears. All right, they hired Dennis Allen. All right. Let's listen to what one of the things he just spoke to the media the other day. Or last week, I should say. Let's listen. Let's check out Dennis Allen.
Yeah, I think we want to be an attacking, aggressive style of defense. I think we want to take the fight to the offense and not let the offense dictate the tempo to us. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to challenge everything. We're going to play the game the right way. We're going to play it tough, physical, brand of football. And I think the brand of football that you come to expect at the Chicago Bears. The answer to the question is, yeah, I took a look a little bit at the pieces on defense. I felt like there were some pieces in place. In particular, I think there's some things that we have to have in the secondary that I like. I think there's some pieces at linebacker that I'm encouraged by. I think there's a couple of spots up front that I feel like we've got some players. So I think the foundation is there defensively, and I think.
Guys, those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears, and here's why I like that hire. One, he's aggressive. All right, see, Coach Eberflus wanted to get pressure with the front four. Cool, I get it. Makes sense. Okay. But this guy brings pressure. This guy brings pressure. He'll bring 5. He'll bring 6. He'll draw up some exotic blitzes. And I think one of the reasons he may have mentioned Kyler Gordon was because of Kyler's versatility. Kyler could guard on the outside. Okay? He took his lumps when he first started, but it got better. Then they moved him inside. He can guard. He's one of the best slot corners there are. But he also comes off the edge. All right? He's one of those guys who can do a lot for a defense. I'm going to like the more aggressive defense that we're going to have as opposed to just trying to get home with 4. All right, that was an issue because if you don't get home with 4, teams can pick you apart, which they had a tendency to do. But when you start bringing some pressure, I like that kind of party. I like that kind of party. Jalen Johnson might have a phenomenal year. Tyreek Stevenson might have a phenomenal year. Because you start bringing pressure, that we know what that means. That means that ball's coming out a little sooner, or it could come out a little later because you move the quarterback off his spot. If the ball comes out too soon or the ball comes out too late, that is a recipe for disaster. A recipe for disaster. I'm anxious. But more importantly, being such a great defensive coordinator and former head coach, he's going to be that experience. He's going to say, "Hey, Ryan Poles, here's what I need. Here's who I want. Go get him." So you got 2 guys. You got Ben Johnson, who's been a phenomenal offensive coordinator for the Lions, on one side of the ball saying, "Hey, here's what I want." And you have Dennis Allen on the other side of the ball saying, I'm a great defensive coordinator. Here's what I want. Now you got to make it work. Now you got to go get him some stuff. I'm looking forward to those guys with experience helping Ryan Poles out. Guys who have a plan, guys who know what it is that they need to make their scheme work. Those are the guys that are going to be in Ryan Poles' ear. Say, hey, Ryan, here's what I need. And Ryan Poles is going to have to say, okay, listen, we're going to go offense first, O-line first, D-line second, offense, O-line third. O-line first, D-line second, D-line third. I mean, he's got to make that decision. I'm sure it's going to be how the board falls and who goes and whatnot. But I like the fact that you're going to have guys who know what it is that they want, as opposed to say, just give me the best player. No. I need this player for this defense. I need this player to fill this hole. The fact that these guys have been successful. Ben Johnson, successful play caller the last 3 years. Dennis Allen, successful defensive coordinator for years now. You got two guys who are very good at their craft, helping you, Ryan Poles, select players to fit those specific schemes. You lucked out, my man. You lucked out. Now you just got to make sure you get exactly who it is that they want. Because if you do that, you get the exact name brand groceries that they want. Now it's on them. Your job is to get them the players that they need, the players that they want, the players that they feel can contribute to their side of the ball. If you do, for the most part, you did your job very well. Are you going to do that? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. You know what? Let's take a look. Black Diamond, you still there, Papa? Black Diamond sent over another mock draft. Let's take a look at it. Black Diamond front and center, Papa, are you there? I'm still here, Shawn. Yes, sir. He's there. He is. Let's check it out. Okay, 18. So they traded back. From number 10. Okay. They got more picks. Beautiful. Maybe got that 50th or the 72nd, whatever. Tyleik Williams, DT at Ohio State. Okay. I can do that. Jonah Savaiinaea from offensive tackle from Arizona. I'm not familiar with him. I need to look up some work for him. Look up and watch some highlights from him. Landon Jackson, edge. Okay. Tate Ratledge, guard from Georgia. So do you think that in this one, Black Diamond, in this one, did they attack free agency and get some offensive linemen? You got Trayvon Henderson, running back, Ohio State. Okay, I like that one. That's a nice one. Jake Majors, the center from Texas. I like that one too. Pat Bryant, wide receiver, Illinois. Okay. Craig Woodson, safety, California. Yeah, you're going to need a guy to replace. Unfortunately, I think to replace, even if he does play, Zaquan Brisker, or at least rotate with him. And then Riley Mills, DT from Notre Dame. And you got Seattle's 2026 third-round pick. Okay. Oh, okay. So in your mock, they signed Cam Robinson and Dahlman. Dahlman's a center from Atlanta. Yeah, Cam Robinson is from the Vikings, right? From the Vikings, right? Cam Robinson? Okay. Okay. Hats off to you, sir. Another great mock draft. Another one, Black Diamond. Another one. That's nice. That's very, very, very nice. Let's look at it again. You got the DT. You got one offensive tackle in Jonas Savaiinaea. You got an edge in Landon Jackson from Arkansas. You got a guard in Radledge. You got another running back. Let Eric Bieniemy cook. We got Trayvon Henderson. You got your center, Jake Majors. You got wide receiver depth. You got a safety late in the draft to compete with, or maybe as depth or to compete for a spot for Jaquan Brisker, because we don't know his situation. And then Riley Mills, defensive tackle from Notre Dame, just adding depth and rotation to that line. I like. And a 2026 Seattle third-round pick. Man, dude, you might want to be you might be the mock draft king, bro. I like it. Who else likes that? Who else likes that mock draft that Black Diamond did? Good stuff, man. Good stuff. That's some good stuff. You know, we were talking about right before Josh came on. And I'm hoping Rashur, Dan, their new Dan Roshar. Dan Roshar. I hope he really focuses on not just the fundamentals. All right, bucket step here. There. I hope he focuses on attitude. Okay, people forget. Attitude goes a long way in anything you do. In pursuing your partner, all right, at work, on a team, at home with your parent, with your kids. Attitude goes a long way. And I hope he focuses and really tries to do a number on their attitude. Like, we need these young men. We need this offensive line nasty. We need this offensive line ornery. Junior. I like both the Black Diamonds mock drafts. Yep. I do too. There's a lot for us to look forward to. A lot. And don't forget, still on the table, Cunningham being the getting the Jacksonville Jaguar GM job. Excuse me. Because if he does, wow, we get 2 third-round picks, a 2025 third-round pick and a 2026 third-round pick. So we're rooting for him to get that job. My man Junior, got to have a chip on your shoulder to play O-line. Not alone, O-line. Junior would know. He was a guard, one of my guards back in the day. Man. Over 25 years ago. Holy sheesh. Because your last year was 2000. 25 years ago is when we last played together, man. Black Diamond, you have a great day. Yep, Wednesday I'll be back on at normal time. Thanks for tuning in, Papa. We appreciate it. You know, I'm excited about this team because what we see this year with this coaching staff is what we probably should have seen last year. or what we're going to see with the team this year is what we were hoping for last year. We're hoping Shane Waldron would come in and really do a number on this offense and have this offense humming. That didn't happen. I think this year things are going to be much better. The talent is there. The talent is there for us to make a run at the title, at the NFC North title. It's there. Now, I don't think we'll get there this year, and we might. All right, we might. It could be a situation where, first year in an offense, it clicks for guys. It clicks. So how it's going to play out, I don't know. But also, I like the defense, especially after I see what happens in free agency, especially after I see what happens in the draft. We're in a good spot. And I think that this defense can be even more dominating than they've been. I think they checked out the last few weeks. Once Eberflus got fired, they were like, yeah, bump this. They don't give a shit. Wow. Interesting. So where was I? Yeah, I think the defense just kind of said, screw it. They just wanted to get home, go on vacation, decompress. But I think there's a lot of excitement at Hallis Hall this year. I think the players, because the players really, here's the thing. You as a player, or we as players, we know who good coaches are. Just as coaches know who good players are, players know who good coaches are. All right, players know who good coaches are. And when you realize that, wow, they're building good coaches, just think, as a defense, you're like, we got Dennis Allen calling our defense. Think about the guys who either played for him in New Orleans or had guys who played for him in New Orleans. The guy likes to bring heat. He likes to put pressure on teams. So I'm looking at it like, as a player, I'm fired up. Your O-line. Look at this guy. Look what he's done. And what I'll do is I'll go and see who he coached, because it's important. I want to go see who Dan Rashard coached and developed. Because if I'm an offensive lineman, this guy comes in with a great rep, I'm fired up. I'm really fired up. If I'm running back, if I'm DeAndre Swift, look who I'm getting. I'm getting Eric Bieniemy, great running back coach. If I'm a wide receiver, I got Antoine Randall. Great wide receiver, great coach. The all-star roster of coaches that this guy's putting together is awesome to see. Awesome. For a rookie head coach to have this much talent around him and his staff is flat out awesome. So now the question is, are the McCaskies finally going to just back away and like, okay, we'll let you guys run it. We'll let you guys run it. Thanks, guys. We're the football guys here, not you. Because that's the only issue now. Because now you just got to get out of the way. I mean, get some free agents, see how we draft, and get out of the way and let these guys go to work. Let this coaching staff do what they do. There's going to be a lot of excitement for OTAs, a lot of excitement for minicamp, a lot of excitement for training camp, a lot of excitement for preseason, and a hell of a lot of excitement for the regular season. Get some more talent. You've got some nice picks. You might even get another one if Ian Cunningham gets the job for the Jacksonville Jaguars open GM position. You get another third-round pick. First 3 round picks, they should be able to contribute immediately. Anything after that, if they do, great. Or there may be special teams. Or if you're like Trey Smith in your 6th rounder, you end up becoming one of the best guards in the NFL. But I'm anxious to see. I'm excited to see how well this team does. The most important thing is attitude. Attitude, attitude, attitude. There's an old saying, attitude determines your altitude. Attitude determines how high you go. Your attitude is going to determine how good you become. One of the guys I really want to have a good year is Montez Sweat. I really want Montez Sweat to have a bounce back year. There's no help on the other side. Junior says, think the Detroit fans are pissed. Yeah, 7 assistant coaches left. Seven. We're going to see how well Detroit is now. Their play caller, gone. They got to learn a new system. So we'll find out. But listen, guys, 2 hours has come and gone. A little less than 2 hours. I want to thank my guest. My guest today from the Running with the Bulls podcast, Josh Sklare. It was his first time here, and I like the young man. Starting to be a lawyer, got to pass the bar, but he's always got time to talk Bulls basketball. I want to thank him for stopping in and talking with us today. It was a great, great show. I want to thank you guys. I know that the time got a little jacked up. My apologies. I don't know why 2:15 a.m. But we got it done. And thank you for taking time out of your day to listen. Hey, guys, you check it out. The weather's going to get a little cooler next couple days. Okay? Right where we're supposed to be. But that's all right. Enjoy it out there. Do yourself a favor. Reach out to some of your people. Send them a text message. I just sent out a text message earlier today, right before the show, to a buddy of mine in Austin, a guy I grew up with, played grammar school football with him, high school football with him, and he went on to play at Northern Iowa with Kurt Warner. I went on to Holy Cross. But he's in Austin, Texas. He's had some health issues, but he's overcome those, and he's getting better now. And I just wanted to reach out to him, and I did right before. Just let him know I was thinking about him. Do that for your people. All right, just do it. You'd be surprised. All right, so listen, for everyone here at Sports Social, first of all, this will replay tonight at 6 p.m. No, we can't. Maybe we'll just replay it tomorrow. I'll figure it out, and you'll see the notification. All right, but we'll be back on Wednesday. Normal bad time, normal bad channel, 9 a.m. to 11 on Wednesday. Tomorrow I got a busy day. But on Wednesday, it'll be normal time, 9 a.m. to 11. All right, guys, let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right, guys, from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I am out.